If I didn't have bad luck, I'd have fuck all, I tell you that much.
Hello there, welcome to Not For Radio. Your hosts today is actually three of us. Duncan High, Jay Reeve, Westy Lee.
G'day.
So Jay's going to feature in today's podcast, and caution, as per, will contain some swearing. If you are new to these extra episodes, sometimes we'll put these pretty gnarly interviews up on the Sniper Elite episodes, and sometimes you may not get to hear them. But if you do want to support us, then you can sign up to become Sniper Elite, and it's about the price of a beer a month or whatever, and you get a whole bunch of extra episodes, plus all the back catalogue and stuff as well. Now, I know there's a bit of an issue for those, and you may be listening on Spotify there, and you normally listen on Apple. We mentioned it yesterday on the podcast as well. But for those that are Sniper Elite on Apple and are listening away from New Zealand internationally, it will be fixed. I hope it at some stage this week. But in the meantime, we're just releasing everything, and you can catch them all on Spotify. So, also we're on YouTube now as well. Today's one is a bloke called Wally. Now, we were originally going to have this chat for the radio show.
Yeah.
And then it was like, quickly became clear that it was like super hectic. We wanted to put him in the Mad Dog Club like basically straight away, but he just had a huge story to tell, and then also some pretty gnarly stuff as far as pulling the curtain back on what it's like when you finish up being in the armed forces.
Yeah, a lot of chat around PTSD. I was sat on the other side of the glass here, pulling the curtain back that way, and I just could not stop listening. Like, I had a whole bunch of other stuff that I needed to do. Everything that he said was just so fucking heart-wrenchingly unfortunate, sad, and beautiful at the same time.
I know.
It was one of the wildest chats.
Just such mixed emotions, listening all the way through. And the thing that and I've never been in the armed forces, and I know the camaraderie is super strong. The thing that I struggle to get my head around is once you hear all the stuff that's happened to him and where he's at now, he was like, if I could, I'd be fucking straight back in there with the lads on another tour.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit.
Crazy.
Anyway, that's the podcast today, guys. Enjoy it. As always, share an episode with a mate. That helps us get the word out there. And like I say, if you want to support us, click on the show notes and you'll find everything you need to become Sniper Elite, baby!
Jay and Dunc, Duncan and Jay, not for fucking radio, up the wires.
Rightio, always like this time of the week when we have a potential mad dog hanging around us, Jay.
Yeah, this is the application process that we're about to go through. And at
Very
the end of
formal, might I add.
Yes, at the end of it, we will find out whether or not we have another member of New Zealand's fastest growing club, the Mad Dog Club.
Wally! Welcome to the show, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Right.
Yes. So my story is a bit of a long one, but at 2018, I was deployed to Afghanistan as part of the Australian military. Routine patrol out of base. I was leading a troop and got hit by a 155 mortar.
And the Mad Dog Club, welcome. That's great stuff. Thanks, mate.
Landed about 15 metres in front, threw me and basically the whole platoon back up against the HESCO wall. Smashed the back of my head first into the HESCO wall.
What's a
which
HESCO
I found
wall?
out it's not it's a rock wall they build in front of the base that stops explosions, and that was interesting. Later on I found out it's not real good for your neck either. It's I ruptured 4 discs in my neck and prolapsed 2, a bit lower down. But anyway, we got up and everyone sort of gathered themselves and started moving forward again. And we got ambushed where I copped 2 in the chest, but realised I was spitting blood at the time. And then I sort of didn't think too much about it, but I looked down and I was still in the fight, and the sergeant and I sort of looked at each other and I said, "Oh, should I have been hit?" And one had hit me in the body arm, and the other one just clipped and went under my arm and went into my right lung. But which is sort of a blessing and a curse at the same time, because the blast actually gave me what they call spontaneous pneumothorax and blew my lung from the inside. So I had a 50 mil hole on the inside of my lung, which collapsed my lung. Anyway, so I dropped and I sort of passed out at that stage. And anyway, the fight was done. And the next thing I remember is a helicopter coming down, dust off, and I was on a stretcher, and shit was getting real again for some reason. I don't know exactly what was happening, but they threw me into the helicopter, and because we're in a pretty rough situation, they sort of threw me through the helicopter. And I slid through and landed on the other side head first, arms strapped to my side and sputtered it on the other side, head first again, which is also not too good for a neck. Anyway, they jumped out. The ladies were really good about it, picked me back up, clipped me in this time, and we took off. I remember during the flight, we had to get into an airfield of roll 3 to get surgery done because I had obviously had a single way patch on my chest so I could breathe. The surgeon on board, the doctor, was giving me morphine and accidentally squirted it into my eye. So that was interesting. It's probably the quickest way to get high in your life as well. So now I got numb face. But I remember looking out through the door and just seeing a whole lot of shit going down. It was just epic. And then landing, we got out, but going through the pressure changes, I could feel a lot of, it just wasn't good. My chest wasn't feeling right. And then I just blacked out. It turns out I had a cardiac arrest in the aircraft. My lung collapsed that far onto my heart that it stopped my heart. They brought me back, did some emergency stuff in the helicopter, dropped me off at Bagram, rolled me in, a few x-rays, used the hole in my chest to punch. Usually when they do what they call for a pneumothorax, they usually go under your rib cage and punch it into your lung, a tube to inflate your lung again. Well, they didn't have to. They already had a hole there, so they put a 13 mil tube, into my hole into my chest between two ribs, which were chipped, but they put it in there anyway. And decided that that's where I was going to be, and hooked a pump up to it, and then ran me through all the scans and whatnot. So that was fun. I spent a few days there. Then they flew me back out to. Sorry, it's very.
No,
I'm getting a bit shaky,
mate. I love it. I love it. Keep at it. You're doing a fucking great job telling this story.
Sorry, I suffer really badly from fucking PTSD. And
I bet you do. No kidding.
Anyway, they flew me from there to Kabul, and there was no chance of getting me home. They wanted to fly me to Germany. I told them to go fuck themselves. I'm not going to Germany. I'd been there for 7 months already, and there's no fucking way I was going to Germany. I couldn't speak German. And my wife we just had our young, another boy of ours, who's another story. And she was at home looking after our 3 kids at the time, and I couldn't deal with not being at home. So basically I said, if you don't get me home, I'll walk. I was pretty stoned at the time, obviously. Anyway, so they just set me up in ICU and made some calls, and they ended up sending a crit care team from Adelaide all the way from Adelaide. So they got a crit care team, which is 16 surgeons and all the rest of it. And they sent a one-way ticket from Adelaide to Dubai to Kabul, and picked me up from ICU. But while I was in the ICU, I started doing stupid shit because I was bored. So I sent some video footage through to. I probably should. You probably shouldn't air it, but I sent it through so you guys could have a look at it.
Okay.
To Teagues, we decided because the money situation over there is always the funds and that. We always deal in Tim Tams because Aussies deal in Tim Tams. That's just what you do. And I was getting a package a week because my wife's a legend. And I was getting a pack of Tim Tams a week, and I made sure I fucking stash that shit. So I'd turn up at any base I could, and I'd stash that shit in my pack, and I'd carry it everywhere. So I don't smoke, so I just stash that shit wherever I could. I'd have it in my webbing, I'd have it everywhere. Anyway, so once I got hold of the coffee, and I had Danes, I had the Poms, and I had Yanks around me. I was showing them, I was stoned off my tits, and I was showing them how to do a Tim Tam slam in ICU. Anyway, I did that, and not my wife called me at the same time, and I'm sort of talking away. I said, "Hang on, love, I've got to show them how to do a Tim Tam slam," and I'm fucking talking away in ICU, and about 10 minutes after that, the colonel comes in and he's chatting away to me, chatting away. And next thing, as I was fucking around, I pulled out the tube that goes into my chest to keep me lung afloat. And I went into cardiac arrest, on the phone to my wife.
Oh, bro.
And he's talking to my wife with the phone facing towards me and working. And they're working on my chest, and she's screaming and crying, turn around, like he's going, no, he's fine, don't worry about it, he's fine. Anyway, they brought me back again, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I'm not religious anymore. Like, my mum would fucking hate me saying that, but whatever. And if there's supposed to see bright lights, I saw fuck all, so I'm going nowhere. Anyway, so we got through that bit. The crit care team turns up. Oh, after that though, they presented me medals in the ICU 2 days later, before the crit care team turns up, and I hadn't had a shave for fucking God knows how long. And you're supposed to have a shave and look respectable at least. And I got out of bed and fuck, I haven't got any pants on. So they throws me a shirt with my name on it, and I stood up and I look around, and Under Armour pants, they'll do, put them on. I've got no jocks on, so I'm shirt cocking a brigadier, and getting me medals put on. And then he shakes me hand and hands me a commandant's medal. I'm like, fuck, these things are pure gold.
There it is. Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Amazing.
well, that's a bit of an honour. I thought that's pretty nice. And then anyway, he walks out of the room, and all me boss and everyone and what they call a battle buddy turns up, and say goodbye to all them lads, and they walk me out to the plane, and anyway, I get on the C-130 there, and I'm up the front like a fucking legend. On the stretcher, they strap me down, and next thing, 400 Aussies are walking in, and I'm just, oh fuck! And they're going, thanks Wally, fucking hands, high fives. Turns out they got an easy ride home too, an 2 week early mark. Coming back from
Yes.
What a champion. The people's champ.
I was getting high fives from them guys too, which was pretty cool. Anyway, so he flies back into Dubai because he couldn't go direct. But I'm like a pin cushion. I've got 16 cannulas in and fucking whatever else in me, antibiotics, a whole lot, pump hanging off my side. I've got a neck brace, all this other crap on. Anyway, coming back in, I get to Dubai. I met up with a mate there that I hadn't seen for a few years, and he comes in and he said, oh, you got to stay for another fucking four days now. And fuck, this is nearly 2 weeks with a tube hanging out of my chest. So right, no dramas. I'll stay here for another 2 days. Whatever. What's the food like? Anyway, he said it's shit. It's like any other place. Right, cool. So then headquarters J33 boss turns up. I'm fucking naked. He turns up. Yeah, oh, shit, throw me a shirt. Fucking still haven't shaved. And I was stand up, sit down. No, I'm standing up, boss. Right, stand up. He shakes me hand again, gives me another fucking medal.
What?
I get another coin, another commandant's coin, a different one. One higher up, a 1-star medal. I went, fucking hell. What's this for? And he said, oh, no, you done a good job. And fuck, right, so no dramas. I turns around and they put me on. I said, fuck, this is going a bit weird. I don't know what's going on here anyway. I said, what, you died twice, you get two gongs. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that gets me out on the plane, and the plane lands, and they hire a plane, and we get on, and all the Aussies are on again, and I'm last on, and they're all waiting for me. I get big cheers as we come on. They move me up into the front of it, like first class, and I'm sitting in the middle aisle. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a full aisle here. Why am I sitting here? Next thing, all the fucking doctors are there, and I said, you ready to sleep? Oh, no. All righto. Fucking bang, I'm out. Righto. So we flew into Darwin. They diverted directly. Usually they flew Darwin, Adelaide, Melbourne, back to Sydney, back to Brisbane. They went direct from Darwin straight to fucking Brisbane. So because they had booked me in for a surgery straight away, I didn't know any of this shit. And my wife met me in Brisbane because we were living there at the time. I went, holy crap, righto. So I gets off the plane there. Fucking straight through customs, all my bags, everything. They haven't even checked through my bags. Like it's got fucking shit all through it. Oh fuck, I'll leave that to the warrant officer. They can deal with that. But yeah, straight into an ambulance. It was going Mark 1, going through railway lines. I was jumping in the back of that thing. I said that was the worst pain I've ever felt.
Worse than getting shot twice.
Christ, this thing is fucking worse than any pain I've ever. I said, fuck, thanks guys, but next time I'll take a horse and cart. Fuck me, and they get out. Oh, they said you needed to be quick. I said, fuck, I've been waiting for 2 weeks. So they need to be fucking dead on the way I get to the hospital. Anyway, I get to the hospital, and my wife was there, which was really good. I broke down at that point. I hadn't seen her for a long time, and little Jimmy was there too, and that was nice. And they wheeled me straight into surgery, where they give me a talc chlorodesis, where they cut out half my right lung. So now I've got no right lung, and they've scrubbed up the rest of it and stuck it to my rib cage so it can't collapse. But they cut me all the way around the chest. I've got holes all the way around here. I've got a massive one here. I just had nerve conductivity tests again for the fucking 4th time, where he thought the machine was broken because he had to go get a new one, because when he stuck it in my left hand side, he turned it up full noise, and I'm looking at him like, what? And he's like, oh, that's full noise. You can't feel it. You can't feel a fucking thing, mate. Wow. He's just going, I'll go get another machine. So he tested it on himself and he done a backflip. But he said, oh, you got carpal tunnel in your left wrist, right elbow, left elbow, and your nerves between your C's and T's is stuffed. Your C7, C6, and C5 discs have got to come out. All right. I've had injections this week straight into the spine, into C7, C6, C5. I've had over 500 seizures. I've got a service dog that can tell when I'm about to have a seizure. Won't let anyone come near me. If I do, he'll tear your fucking face off. Wow. Unless you're wearing a uniform. His name's Zeus. Yeah. He's a big German Shepherd. He weighs about 52 kilos. I did get looked after at the start. At the start first, so my claims were denied because they were under a 50-year protection thing from DVA. And I threatened them with lawyers and stuff like that. And now, then within 24 hours, I got turned around. I don't say this to get any attention either. I just want to say this, that other people are out there and they don't understand the shit that veterans have to go through. Like, I suffer every fucking day with PTSD, and it's a constant fucking battle. I lost a mate who was a Kiwi last week in New Zealand, and I could not tell, and I spoke to this guy a lot, I could not tell this guy was, he was perfect. He was such a gentleman. He was 52 years old. He had a perfect family. He had a perfect life. He had been on the same amount of deployments as me. He was a nice guy. You wouldn't have told. He went for a walk. He didn't come home.
Wow.
And that was it. You know, I've lost 7 guys back in Australia. 7 of my close mates died in Australia. I lost 2 overseas.
Oh my gosh. Are they, and this probably sounds like a stupid question to ask because the answer is probably no, but obviously they're not doing, and probably all militaries across the globe or armed forces are not doing enough post-service for the vets, right?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, you get indoctrinated in. You don't get taught how to be out. I was in for 12 years. And funny, I joined because I wanted to represent. And I'm a patriot. I'm like, you can burn my flag, but yeah, I'll fucking shoot you. Like, that's just the way it is. And that's, I don't give a shit how or why people think we should do stuff, but I joined to protect this country and to protect your country and to protect, New Zealand and Aussies have always been like this. And we show that overseas. We show that. We work hand in hand together. We should, there's not enough done. There's just not enough done to help people like Kiwis and Aussies. Even some of the Brits don't get looked after. Like the Yanks have got the best system. You can literally leave the army over there and I'll have one document for you to sign. And everything turns up on a silver platter and it's done for you. Back here, you fight tooth and nail for everything. It's like an insurance company. If you can't prove nothing happens. Like, I had a seizure in my office at work when I first got back. And I was just lucky that my bosses were good back in Australia, because I went back to work. I was having seizures daily and I went back to work because I could not let my family down and I needed to get paid. And I had a seizure in front of him and I smacked my head on the fucking floor like I was a dead set retard, but I would not give up. And I fought tooth and nail to get everything I could. And even now, I've still got lawyers fighting for me now because the way they did stuff for me was wrong, DVA, and not DVA per se, just some individuals in there. DVA as a unit is okay. Some individuals think it's their money, and it's not. It's not fair. I've lost too many mates over stupid shit like money that's not theirs, and it's not fair. PTSD is not something you can see. Like, it is something that, like, people can get PTSD from watching a cat get hit by a car.
Yeah.
And you cannot explain that to someone. It can be, people take it for granted, and yeah, it's easy to put it on. It's easy. Like, some people can put it on, but it's like, I've been diagnosed with what they call conversion disorder. I've been diagnosed with dissociation disorder. I've been diagnosed with seizures with convulsions. They thought I had epilepsy. One of my mates has got epilepsy from PTSD. Like, there's so many things that can come out of this PTSD that people have got to be aware of. And I'm trying to become a bit more of an advocate for it. Yeah, I went through a lot of shit, but there's a lot more people out there worse off than me. I'm still talking.
Yeah.
I tried to kill myself twice. That's honest to God with you. I tried to kill myself twice. And the reason I didn't succeed is, one, because I'm a fucking idiot and I can't tie a knot. It's funny. I come from a farm, can't tie a knot. The second was the rope I put around my head. As I put it around my head, I knocked a box off the shelf, and guess what landed on the ground? It was a card from my second eldest son saying, "Dad, I can't wait for you to come home."
Oh.
And that that stopped me, and I booked myself in to get help, and that is the reason I'm here. And I've got a memory.
How is it? How is that? What does that sort of look like in terms of what can you do and what have you been offered in terms of working through? We literally spoke to an Australian lady a couple of weeks ago, last week maybe, and she was going through a whole bunch of different alternatives like MDMA, LSD, psilocybin, all these treatments that they've used to, relatively good effect on PTSD and post-war vets in the States. Is any of that available? Because Australia is one of the first places to basically declassify psilocybin and MDMA usage for uncurable PTSD or whatever whatever they term it as.
So you can go down that line, and look, I've got nothing against people that want to go down the drug line. It's understandable. I've done EMDR, what they call is where basically they trigger the brain to remember the issue, remember the problem, and go through it in your brain and process it. Because I still have nightmares. I still talk in my sleep, and I can do hand load drills, I can do unload drills, I can do full drills in my head, and I can speak them out, and I can tell people how to reload and unload and do all that in my head. And my kids can do it, and they've never fucking held a gun. Like, it's stuff like that. But I've done EMDR, I've done electrotherapy, I've done the whole friggin' works and jerks. But in the end of the day, it's something now that's been built into your psyche that, you can. Look, I've tried the medicinal marijuana. Fuck, it was great. I had a great sleep. Fuck, it was great stuff. But, I'm trying now kava from Fiji. Yeah. It's great too. Yeah. Great for pain. Yeah. I still have bad days. I have good days. I'm not allowed to work in case I rip someone's fucking head off. I'm not a small lad, but I'm not a big lad either. But I don't have that fight or flight anymore. There is no fight or flight. I have fight. And that's the thing that worries me the most is I've got to be very wary of what I do. There's two things in my world that I worry about, and that's family and family. And that's it. That's all I worry about. And this next stage of my life is literally, it looks like to me, is fixing first myself so I can help my family a bit more, because I'm more or less looked at as a patient. And that's played a lot of effect on my wife. My wife's has had to pick up and carry the burden for fucking 7 years now. Yeah. Like she runs the household, and I know that. She knows that, but it's fucking hard. It is really hard, and I know a lot of people don't come through this like in relationship wise. But I know we shouldn't be talking about this on the Mad Dog thing, but that's sort of where it's at.
That's the reality of it. Yeah,
it is the reality of it. It's but that's just the way it is. It's sort of that's a bit deep to get into for the Mad Dog.
Mate, I fucking love it, because we skirt around these conversations, and I love the fact that just like everything that you've done in your life, you just met it head on, and you've carried it head on, and you've given us an insight that we would never, ever, 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 ever get, or even probably remotely be able to understand in the slightest. Yeah, and for that, like, first and foremost, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done to date. Thank you for what you continue to do, and thank you for fucking reading that card.
Yeah, no dramas, mate.
No dramas at all. I think it's easy. Can we first and foremost? I mean, it doesn't hold up anything close to the medals that you've got, but fuck, jeez, a bit shit house.
I didn't hear them giving you any rings. Yeah. Just saying.
Standing O.
Oh, jeez, almost yanked my headphones off. Absolutely. Oh, so we'll get you out. We'll get you out the bling for sure. But what I was going to say is, like I say, the harsh realities of it, and like Jay said as well, no one gets, regular citizens don't get exposed to that. I think it's good that we can shine a light on it. It's like what we see of the military is a fucking highly edited, dramatized version in the movies, which doesn't show any of this shit.
No, and that's the thing. Like, one thing I tell my kids is don't watch the news. If you want a military life, don't watch the news or don't watch videos. Or don't watch fucking. It's not like that. None of it's like that. It's not real life. Value to life, especially in third world countries, is not like that. They are worse than that, and it's even the way they dramatize it is heaps worse than that. Like it is, honestly, you aren't worth anything over there. So we have really got the best countries in the world over this way, and that's where I intend to stay. If I could still serve, I'd be still serving today because I was born for that shit and I loved it. And honestly, if nothing happened to me, I'd still be in today.
That was going to be my next question. I was going to say how many more tours do you reckon you would have done had you not been injured? But you answered it before I could ask the question. You would just keep going back.
I would have kept going, and that's just because it was me. It's like trying to find your sense of self again.
Yeah.
Like I basically all I do now is I sit in the creek and I gold pan or something. I do something that's therapeutic because I can't do much else. Like my next surgery, a side effect is I may not be able to walk again. That's a fucking side effect.
Wow.
I may not be able to walk again. Well, how are you supposed to fucking take that on? Like,
yeah.
Like I've got pain now, but I've been having pain for 7 years, and I'm sick of it. I've had I'm up to 7 cortisone shots in my neck, and I'm just sick of waking up every 3 months and going back in for the same nerve tests, the same injections into. I went into a test the other day, and this is not a word of a lie. I thought I was coming out from a cortisone shot. My wife says, no, that was just for a test to see which ones are fucked. I went, haven't we done this test before? Yeah, you've done it several times. Why are we doing it again? Because they just got to test them again. I said, who are we paying for here? It's like a self-licking ice cream. Just fuck's sake, just give me the fucking shot. So I walked out of there like a fucking lurch. I couldn't use my left leg or my left arm, and I'm like, I want coffee. Give me a fucking coffee. And she said, can you feel anything different? Yeah. I can't feel my fucking left thigh. I said, I come home, I had the best 2 hours sleep you've ever had. Then I woke up in pain again. I said, the cortisone's doing shit. It wasn't cortisone. It was just a fucking local anesthetic in my spine. I said, for fuck's sake, if I want a lumbar puncher, I'll give myself one.
Oh, mate.
You know, it's.
Fucking
I mean,
doctors.
there is a lot of fucking storm clouds rolling through your blue sky, and I love the fact that you can still see the blue sky. Like you are the blue sky, and that's a beautiful thing.
I said, my mate just said, one of them said, you should have a camera on you all day. I said, why is that? He said, you make a fucking funny video, I tell you. Because everything, if I didn't have bad luck, I'd have fuck all, I tell you that much. I said, mate, they said, I'd take you to the races. I'll just bet on every fucking horse you don't.
No, Wally, once again, you are mate. You're not only a national treasure, but an Anzac treasure. You talked about how the closeness between the two countries it is, and even more so when it comes to battlefields. And it seems very token, but mate, now that we've spoken, we're in the battle with you. And if there's anything that we can do to help you out and elevate the voice and reach the people that need to be reached and spread the message.
Mate, you're doing it, mate. You give me a laugh every day. I always follow your stuff, and you're both doing a great job. And that's why I reached out to you. I thought, fuck, you guys have got the life. It's fucking brilliant what you do. Fair dinkum. I love it. I follow everything. It's fucking hilarious. I do want to have a shout out to the fucking nicknames. They are the funniest fucking things I've ever heard.
We actually done it with a sniper's nightmare.
Yeah. Sniper's Nightmare is probably one of my favourites. and I do like another one that my old man used to call a bloke that used to sit up at the bar and he had no arms and no legs, and they called him Bob because that's the sound he made when he kicked him into the pool. He just bobs around. But anyway, we'll leave that one with you.
Oh, mate. There's Mate, the pleasure has been all ours.
100%
like
ours.
an absolute roller coaster of a chat, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day and obviously reliving
I've
some
got
of
fuck all else to do.
but more so going into some of that hectic stuff because it's obviously very triggering for you.
You've really upset me. Time of coffee I'm having, that's all you've done.
Hey, can you just do us one more favour and give that incredible wife and those amazing kids of yours a big squeeze from us and tell them how much of a legend we think you are?
Will do. Little Jimmy's he can't wait to hear it. He's got his he had a scan the other day and his tumours have stopped in his brain, so he's good to go. So he's got another 6 months for another scan. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
So we're good.
Oh man. All right, mate. We'll have a bloody good weekend. We appreciate you for taking time that you've got a lot of out of your day.
We look forward to seeing you on Aussie Gold Hunters.
Righto, gentlemen.
All right, mate.
See you,
Hopefully the next time I chat with you found a fucking 10 kg nugget.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the plan. Hopefully I'll stumble over and don't crack my fucking head over it or something.
Oh shit. All right, mate. Go well. Have a good weekend.
Will do. You too, mate.
See you, brother. See you later.
See you, mate.